It's not an overstatement to say that I learned virtually nothing at Stanford Medical School about the tens of thousands of scientific papers that elucidate these root causes of why American health is plummeting and how environmental factors are causing it. For instance, in medical school, I did not learn that for each additional serving of ultra-processed food we eat, early mortality increases by 18%. This now makes up 67% of the foods our kids are eating. I took 0 nutrition courses in medical school. I didn't learn that 82% of independently funded studies show harm from processed food, while 93% of industry-sponsored studies reflect no harm. In medical school, I didn't learn that 95% of the people who created the recent USDA food guidelines for America had significant conflicts of interest with the food industry. I did not learn that 1 billion pounds of synthetic pesticides are being sprayed on our food every single year. 99% of the farmland in the United States is sprayed with synthetic pesticides, many from China and Germany. And these invisible, tasteless chemicals are strongly linked to autism, ADHD, sex hormone disruption, thyroid disease, sperm dysfunction, Alzheimer's, dementia, birth defects, cancer, obesity, liver dysfunction, female infertility, and more, all by hurting our metabolic health. I did not learn that the 8 billion tons of plastic that have been produced just in the last 100 years, plastic was only invented about 100 years ago, are being broken down into microplastics that are now filling our food, our water, and we are now even inhaling them in our air. And that very recent research from just the past couple of months tells us that now about 0.5% of our brains by weight are now plastic. I didn't learn that there are more than 80,000 toxins that have entered our food, water, air, and homes by industry, many of which are banned in Europe, and they are known to alter our gene expression, alter our microbiome composition and the lining of our gut, and disrupt our hormones. I didn't learn that heavy metals like aluminum and lead are present in our food, our baby formula, personal care products, our soil, and many of the mandated medications like vaccines, and that these metals are neurotoxic and inflammatory. I didn't learn that the average American walks a paltry 3,500 steps per day, even though we know, based on science and top journals, that simply walking 7,000 steps a day slashes by 40 to 60% our risk of Alzheimer's, dementia, type 2 diabetes, cancer, and obesity. I certainly did not learn that medical error and medications are the 3rd leading cause of death in the United States. I didn't learn that just 5 nights of sleep deprivation can induce full-blown prediabetes. I learned nothing about sleep, and we're getting about 20% less sleep on average than we were 100 years ago. I didn't learn that American children are getting less time outdoors now than a maximum security prisoner. And on average, adults spend 93% of their time indoors, even though we know from the science that separation from sunlight destroys our circadian biology, and circadian biology dictates our cellular biology. I didn't learn that professional organizations that we get our practice guideline from, like the American Diabetes Association and American Academy of Pediatrics, have taken tens of millions of dollars from Coke, Cadbury, processed food companies, and vaccine manufacturers like Moderna. I didn't learn that if we address these root causes that all lead to metabolic dysfunction and help patients change their food and lifestyle patterns with united, strong voice, we could reverse the chronic disease crisis in America, save millions of lives and trillions of dollars in healthcare costs per year. Instead, doctors are learning that the body is 100 separate parts, and we learn how to drug, we learn how to cut, and we learn how to bill.
Welcome to Pure Energy. How powerful was that, Dr. Casey Means? It's absolutely wild. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Whitney. I've been loving our office and serving you guys for the last 9.5 years. Gosh, I'm so nervous this morning. Thank you. I absolutely love what I do, not just because of you guys, but because of who I get to work with every day. We have 2 amazing chiropractors in our office. We have Dr. Moss and Dr. Sidney. Dr. Sid has been practicing for about 5 years, and she's been with us for 2. And she does so much. Not only is she helping Dr. Moss, take care of you guys, adjusting exams, but she helps me a ton. She's currently in the process of teaching me how to do social media properly. She is a social media guru and a Canva queen, and she has actually spent a lot of hours over the last couple of weeks really preparing something for you guys. So let's give it up for Dr. Sid. She's gonna go through what's in your folder. Come on, Dr. Sid.
Okay, so we're gonna go over some disclaimers and go over what's in your folder. So the disclaimer today is a lot of the topics that Dr. Moss is going to be going over are going to be more advanced. So this is going to be a lot different than what your typical workshop is. And if for some reason something seems to be going over your head or you want more information, we have a few other workshops that you guys can get. So if you go ahead and take your phones out, you can text food to 770-345-9355. Okay, and after you sent or text food to that number, you should receive a few links to the Nutrition 101 workshop, the shopping workshop, and the toxin workshops. So these you can go ahead and watch on your own time if you need more additional information or if you just want a refresher. Additionally, in your folders, you're going to see a note sheet and a fill-in-a-blank sheet. And those are for you guys to help you follow along and take notes as you see fit. And we have a few different ways to do that, just depending on your learning style. Additionally, you're going to see the challenge worksheet for the 30-day challenge, and Dr. Moss will be going over that in more detail later on. And lastly, there is the booklet. So this has been my obsession for the past 2 weeks. I probably put in about 20 hours of information in here for you guys. And here, there's going to be a lot of additional information that's going to complement what Dr. Moss is going to be talking about today. But in the back half of the booklet is a bunch of recipes. So when you sign up to do the 30-day challenge, if you don't want to think about what you're going to be eating, you can literally just go in the back of the booklet, pick something, and survive and thrive. So I look forward to seeing all y'all's transformations within the next 30 days. And here is Whitney again.
Yay, me. Yay, Dr. Sid. Thank you so much. So up next, we're going to bring up Dr. Moss. For those of you who are new to our practice or don't fully know who we are, Dr. Moss has been, got this. He has been loving and serving the Canton community since 2004. That's over 20 years of chiropractic in our community. And he's been in the same spot the entire time, just loving and serving on you guys. Not only does he have all of these great educations and certifications, he goes above and beyond. He does so much more research. He has so many more certifications. They wouldn't fit on the slide. But he puts in so much work and dedication to these events. And I tell people all the time, he's not just a chiropractor. He has been my life coach, my health coach since I met the man. And that's the same for a lot of people here in our office. He really does believe that we each belong in a healthier body, and he's determined to really put us in that position, giving us every bit of advice and information we need to be successful. He hands out health advice like he's Oprah, you get to be healthy, you get to be healthy, you get to be healthy. He really does do it all. He is on a mission to make sure that our families are the healthiest versions of ourselves, and that all starts today. So let's get on our feet, put some energy in the room, and give it up for Dr. Moss.
Got some 80s going. That was from Milt. Milt had that idea. Where's Milt? Where you at? Yeah, thank you for that idea. Pure energy, good 80s song. So I want to start this morning with a story about an amazing patient. And I love this patient to death because she's been through it all. She's gone up, she's gone down, and this story ends with her on top again. She started in her practice back in 2021, and she was not feeling well. She was sick and tired of being sick and tired. She was overweight, she had no energy, she hurt all the time, and she didn't know what to do. She was on medication, she was going to doctors, and what was the answer to that? You got it, more medication. So she said, we got to do something different. What can I do? She came to my office, and we took x-rays and explained how the body can and should heal itself of everything and anything. So we showed her everything. We put her on a plan, and she was my star patient. Everything we told her to do, she did exactly how she was supposed to. And guess what that resulted in? Results. She got phenomenal results. She lost a ton of weight, felt great, and when we were done with her spine was straight. This was back in 2021. Again, this is my star patient, the person who is sitting probably right up front. Where are you at, Lisa? Perfect, there she is, right up front at every workshop. I expected her. We actually saved her the seat with her and Patty and Mary Beth, always up front because they took their health seriously. They wanted to be better. And then something happened in Lisa's life that caused a lot of stress and anguish. And I noticed it about her that she was not the same Lisa. Lisa, when she's on, she is glowing, she has energy, and she's awesome to be around. And when she was in my office, I knew she was there, even when I didn't know she was there. But then I started realizing that something was off with Lisa, and we found out what was going on with her grandbaby. Suffered. Thank God she's fine now, right? Yes. But Lisa had put her health on the back burner. Isn't that easy to do when you're stressed? When life gets in your way, you always put yourself last, which is the most opposite thing that you should be doing. Your health is supposed to be there so you can get through these hard times, but it's so easy to get distracted. And this is what happened to Lisa. And I just noticed it wasn't the same Lisa that I knew, and I knew she had potential to be better. So I took her into a room and said, Lisa, what's going on? And she broke down. We hugged it out. We talked for 30 minutes in my office. And we finally said, we got to start over. Because when we took x-rays of her, this is what she looked like after 2 years, or 3 years of putting herself last. Her spine is crooked. Her spine is crooked. She was in pain all the time. She was not digesting her food properly. She was not taking time for herself. She was gaining weight, and she felt awful again. So I showed her my recommendations, and she says, do I really need to do all this again? What did I say, Lisa?
Said yes.
Yes, you do. And she says, I trust you. I'll do it. So she did it. She didn't miss a day in my office. She didn't miss a day of doing her home care. We started making her do the things that she needed to do, like going for walks. She likes to be in nature. She took time to do these things again, pouring back into herself. And I've seen a transformation. My Lisa is back, thank God. And the reason why I use this story is because this happened this week. We went through her correction. We took the new x-rays, and this is what she looked like this week when we took the x-rays. Her spine, again, is straight. Her spine, again, is straight. She has lost 18 pounds. And I said, Lisa, what have you been doing? And as she's telling me what she's doing, I start smiling and almost laughing a little bit. And she's kind of like, what are you laughing about? Because she says, I'm waking up at 5:30. I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to do. I'm doing my home care exercises twice a day. I'm eating better. I intermittent fast. I break my fast with a grass-fed protein smoothie. I barely go out to dinner anymore. I go for the walks. I get 10,000 steps a day. And I'm just grinning. She's like, what's so funny? I'm like, this is exactly what I'm going to tell everybody to do this Saturday. If you put in the work, you will get the results. Lisa, congratulations. Give her a round of applause. Phenomenal, phenomenal changes, because I'm so proud to be part of your health journey. I didn't do the work. I can only guide you. You know, you say you can't lead a horse to water, or you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them, well, we changed that. You can't make them thirsty. You guys are thirsty for knowledge, otherwise you would be in bed still, wouldn't you? You guys have sacrificed your Saturday morning to be here to be better. So I applaud you for being here and being thirsty for this knowledge, because we were all on a journey for health. Health is not a destination, it is a journey. And we're all on a health journey, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my health journey. Growing up, I had irritable bowel syndrome. If anybody here has ever had that or know what that is, it's miserable. This is when you eat a meal and you then have to hunch over in pain. You have to know where the bathroom is before you eat the meal because you know you're going to be there in a minute. And it was miserable. I'm going to show you a picture of me back in 2006 when my 18-year-old who is here today passing out spindrifts and water was 1. I'm going to show you this picture, and I don't like showing good pictures of myself, let alone bad pictures of myself, so please don't freak out like my wife did. I was showing my wife, and she goes, oh, please get that off the stage. Please, I don't want to see that. I was 35 pounds heavier than I am now. I was 30 years old in that picture. And my wife tells me, I don't know if she's blowing smoke or not, but she says I look younger now than I did 30 years ago, or that's 18 years ago. Why? Because we changed how we live. And here's the thing, I thought I was healthy. I made all my meals at home. All right, I exercised. I went to the gym 4 times a week. I lifted heavy. I drank protein after like I was supposed to. I did all the things I was taught in, school and society, not realizing that that was actually causing more problems. As a chiropractor, I will never forget that day in practice. It was a Friday. I was double over in abdominal pain, didn't know what it was. I did a test on myself. I have appendicitis. I went to my buddy who's a medical doctor down the road. He tested me, he goes, Dan, you got appendicitis. I'm like, well, great. I go to the hospital. They say, yep, you have appendicitis. We just need to confirm it with a CAT scan. They do the CAT scan and say, you don't have appendicitis. You have a bowel obstruction. How many times have you had bowel surgery? I'm like, never. They're like, well, that's the only reason why that happens. So I was there for 2 days. They did tons of tests, 0 answers, $16,000 bill, and a follow-up with a gastroenterologist. I go to the gastroenterologist. You know what he says? You have IBS. I'm like, I already knew that. I said, what do we do about this? He goes, you can take this medication. I'm like, I'm not taking medication. He goes, well, then you're going to have to deal with it. The answer was take my drug or deal with it. Not once did that doctor say, maybe we should find out what you're eating. Maybe it's what you're eating that's causing these problems. How do you exercise? Didn't ask me one question about my lifestyle, just assumed take the drug or deal with it. So I dealt with it and I tolerated it. You are what you tolerate. I tolerated irritable bowel syndrome. I tolerated having a gut, having a belly. I tolerated not feeling good, being tired when I went up the stairs. I tolerated this. What are you tolerating? Guys, I want you to pull that sheet out that has the fill in the blank. I want to start this right. We need to set some intention for this morning. I want you to write down on that first line where it says, what are you tolerating? Think about something in your health that you are just dealing with and would like not to be anymore. Are you dealing with an extra 15, 25, 55 pounds that you wish would just magically disappear? Are you tolerating being tired and achy every day? Are you tired and tolerating chronic stress? What are you tolerating? If you can remove anything from your health right now, write it down. Because you're probably tolerating something that you don't need to be tolerating. Does anybody want to share what they're tolerating and wish was gone? Go ahead. Migraines. We're tolerating migraines. People think headaches are normal, just so you guys know. I hear it all the time. I get a normal headache a couple times a week. I'm like, first of all, there's no such thing as a normal. And what? A couple times a week? That's 104 a year. There's nothing. How many headaches are you supposed to get? 0. If you're getting headaches more than once a year because you probably induced it on yourself or dehydrated, that's a problem. Anybody else want to share? What are they tolerating? That's okay if we don't want to. Go ahead. In 1 week.
The amazing thing is I don't have the spikes and the crashes during the day.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Imbalance. He's done tolerating imbalance. Ups and downs. Ups and downs. Energy, no energy. Up and crash. Anybody else want to share? Yes, Deb. Not sleeping well. Because people think that, as we get older, we're just not going to sleep well. Or as we get older, our metabolism is going to slow down and we're supposed to get overweight, right? That's normal, right? So these are things that we might be tolerating, but we do not need to tolerate them anymore. And if you don't want to tolerate them anymore, you want to make a change, the next step is we need to know why. Why do we want to make a change? So what we need to do now on that next line is say, why do we no longer want imbalance? Why do we no longer want to sleep poorly? Why do we want to get rid of our migraines? And just so you know, to feel better is not the answer. It needs to be specific. It needs to be long-term. And I want you to think hard about this because when you develop a good why, when you feel like quitting, remember why you started, you will continue. So we need to think about why. Lisa, I don't know what your why was. It probably had something to do with your grandbabies.
I have a list and I look at it every morning.
Amazing.
Every morning.
What are you grateful for and why do you need to keep doing the things that are going to keep you healthy so you can do the things you want to do when you want to do them? Right?
Yeah.
That's right. So I want you to think about your why. And this is very important because everything else is going to fall into place when we establish this. It shouldn't be, well, I want to lose those 10 pounds so I look good in a bathing suit when I go to the beach in June. It needs to be more like, I want to be around so I can walk my daughter down the aisle. No time soon, Bryn. Okay? I'm going to share with you my why. So when I was 12 years old, my mom passed away. I was 12, my brother was 9, my sister was 6. And it was the first Thanksgiving after her passing. And we were all going to go to my uncle's house and have this big family celebration. My brother had gotten a assignment in school to interview your family during Thanksgiving break. I thought it would be cool to videotape this. And for those of you that are not old enough to know this, videotape didn't mean pull out your phone and do one of these. It meant 15-pound recorder on your shoulder. I may have just dated myself, but that's what we had. It was super cool at the time. So we're going around Thanksgiving and we're talking to our little cousins, what's your favorite color and what's your favorite toy? And then we were aunts and uncles, but then we got to the dinner table. And imagine you have this long rectangular dinner table. You got my grandmother and grandfather here in the middle. Then you have my dad, their oldest, his brother and sister, so my aunt and uncle, their spouses, their kids. So we got 3 kids, we have a bunch of grandkids. And my brother says to my grandmother, what is your greatest accomplishment? And she does this. I am responsible for everybody here. And I will never forget that because it is why I want to be healthy. Because one day I want to sit at a Thanksgiving table and do the exact same thing. Look left, look right, see my 3 kids, their spouses, my grandkids, and say, I did this. So when you have a why, it needs to be big, it needs to be grand, it needs to be for somebody other than just yourself. Because when you feel like things are getting hard and you remember why you started, you will continue. Because if you want what you tolerate to go away, you want to be healthy, if you want to be there for your why, you have to be 2 things. You have to be alive and you have to be healthy. Everybody say alive. Everybody say healthy. We need to be alive and healthy. Here's a picture of me and my grandmother. The problem here is that we all want to be alive. We all want to be healthy. However, over 93% of Americans have a metabolic disorder and might not even know it. They might not even know it. Now, when we think about metabolism disorders, typically I hear, I'm gaining weight. That's just low metabolism or high metabolism, right? But we also have things like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disorders, thyroid dysfunction, PCOS, infertility, Cushing's disease. I mean, we can keep going. These are all signs your metabolism is not functioning properly. Here are some more warning signs. Not necessarily diseases, but fatigue, suppressed appetite, cold hands and feet, low libido, PMS, bloating, anxiety, depression, hair loss, brittle nails, insomnia, infertility, irritability, obesity, weight loss resistance. Does this sound familiar to many of us? Yeah, because 93% of the people in the room are probably dealing with it to some degree. If not one, multiple. And it is causing a chronic disease epidemic here in America. I mean, look at these statistics. 6 in 10 American adults have a chronic disease. 4 in 10 have 2 or more. Like Dr. Casey Means said in the beginning, this is a problem. This is a problem because we have things backwards. Eat whole foods, that sounds expensive. Go to the chiropractor on a regular basis, well, my insurance doesn't cover that, so why would I do that? Prevent disease, well, that's not realistic. But spending $300 a month on prescriptions, well, that's normal. It's probably kind of low. $100,000 on a surgery, well, that's necessary. 20 years on medications, that's expected. Guys, we got it backwards. Like Dr. Casey Means says, this ain't right. You see, people are fed by the food industry who pay zero attention to your health outcomes. And then we are treated by the medical industry who take no consideration into what you eat. What if I told you there was a way to manage your health that would reduce your hospital admissions by 60%? Less days in the hospital, 59%. 62% less outpatient surgeries, and how about this? 85% less pharmaceutical costs. Would you like to do whatever this does? Hey, sign me up. Perfect. Well, here's the thing. This is really cool. There was a study over 7 years that showed that people who used a chiropractor as their primary care physician got those results. You're welcome. Yes. Why going to a chiropractor would this happen? Well, when you go to a chiropractor like a Max Living doctor, we are on a mission to change the way healthcare is viewed and delivered. Everybody thinks that healthcare means wait till you get sick and then treat your symptom with a drug. And if that doesn't work, take another drug. And when that doesn't work, cut it out. And when that doesn't work, go to the chiropractor. Right? It's all backwards. Why don't we go to somebody whose job is to keep you off of medication because we're going to teach you how to be healthy from the inside out? And guys, there is a time and place for medicine. There is a time and place to go to a doctor. It's called emergencies and it's called necessary surgeries. I can't tell you how many times, though, people come in and don't realize what we can do. I had a patient yesterday, 19-year-old, low back pain. First re-exam, her low back pain's improving, but then she says, Dr. Moss, I don't know if you have anything to do with this. I love when people say that. I'm not sure if this is related whatsoever, but I'm getting my period again. I was like, well, where was it? She says, well, I haven't had it in almost a year. I'm like, you're 19. Why do you not have it? She said, well, I went to multiple doctors, and they kept telling me I just needed birth control. So the answer is, I don't have my cycle, so let's just make you have a cycle with birth control. She said it made me crazy. So she stopped it. So she goes back to another doctor who says, it's just your PCOS. It's normal. If it was normal, why did it come back when we started fixing her spine? How does that even work? It works because your body wants to be healthy. Your body needs no help from the outside. It just needs no interference. As a chiropractor, my first job is to make sure that your body is healing and functioning the way it was designed to. Because I want everybody to understand that God put a power in our brain and in our spinal cord that runs and controls every single function in our body. Right now, as we sit here, for our hearts to beat, for our lungs to breathe, for us to digest food, the information must come out of the brain, go down the spinal cord, out along those nerves, uninterrupted. That will restore proper function to our body. But if a bone shifts out of alignment, puts pressure on the nerve, we are now choking off life to the body. Less life equals more disease, more dysfunction, more early death. My job is to find those subluxations, those misalignments, the pressure on the nerve, remove the pressure, allow your body to do what it's been trying to do the whole time, which is be healthy. That is what I did for that patient of mine who told me nothing about her menstruation issues. How can I fix something I didn't know about? Because I don't fix things. I don't treat symptoms. I don't treat disease. I turn your power on, and guess who heals you? God heals you, from inside out, from above down and inside out. As a chiropractor, we start there first. Then what do we need to do? We need to make sure that we're eating properly, right? We need to make sure we're eating well. We need to make sure we have a proper mindset, reducing stress. We need to make sure that we move, get oxygen to our cells, and we need to minimize our exposure to toxins. This is what we call the 5 essentials. Everybody say the 5 essentials. Essential means you cannot live without it. 5 essentials. This is what we all need to do from now on. You want to achieve your why? You want to get rid of those things you tolerate? Do what Lisa did. All 5. Don't pick, don't choose, do all 5. And today, we are going to talk about what causes us to lose our health. So Dr. Casey Means is a medical doctor, very prominent medical doctor who is now a whistleblower on the medical system, as you heard in her statement to Congress, which is pretty powerful. She recently wrote a book called Good Energy. Some of you may have heard of it. Some of you may have read it. I read it, and it is one of the best books on health I have read in a very long time, and it was written by a medical doctor. Blew me away. She is on point. I read this book. I said, man, I need to teach this to the world, and I need to help her teach my patients what I learned in that book. So I highly recommend you read the book, but the good news is if you don't want to read the book, I am going to teach you everything that you need to know from the book here this morning. So good for you guys. Yes. We are also going to do what's called a 30-day challenge here today. We're going to start that this week. This is your 30-day challenge. This is your plan. This is what you do for the next 30 days. I want to tell you how I did this. We have different habits we're going to be talking about here today. And then we have core, intermediate, and advanced plans. It's a pick and choose your own adventure. Some of you are like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know anything that he's talking about. I just want to get healthy. We're going to start you in the core. Some of you are like, this is my 15th seminar I've been to with Dr. Moss. I already know a lot of these things. Where do I start? You can start the advanced. And some of you might go in between. So the whole goal is to start where you're comfortable and progress to the next level every week. Okay? Now, we're also going to be talking about new supplements that we have releasing here today. I know a lot of you are excited about that. I'm super excited to teach you. They're called the Foundational 3. We're going to talk about that here today. And then we have some guests here today. If you're not a patient of mine, raise your hand. Fantastic. We have a lot of guests. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you guys are here. We're going to give you guys an opportunity towards the end. If you'd like to get your spine checked and be part of our practice and enjoy these wonderful results, we're going to give you guys an opportunity to do so as well. And the last thing I want to do before I get started, I want you guys to pull this sheet out of your folder. It says, sign me up, but on the back it says, community dinner guests. I want you to just keep this one out. All right, I want you to put it on your lap or on the chair next to you. And what I want you to do is when I say something today that you're like, man, my friend John needs to hear that. I wish he was here. Or Maria, she should have been here to hear that. The good news is we're going to be doing a community outreach dinner in the next 2 weeks. And you have the opportunity to bring them to that dinner where I pay for everything. We're going to condense this into about 25 minutes for them to at least get a gist of what we can do and give them opportunity to get their health back too. All right, let's get started. I'm taking you guys to biology class for a minute. And now biology class could be very, very boring. It could be very intimidating. And I'm going to try and make sure neither of those things happen to you guys. This slide right here is very, very important. It's called the hierarchy of cells. It's how we are designed. We start with what are called organelles. Those are all like the nucleus, all the things that are inside every single one of your cells. And then our body has cells that go into tissue. Tissue become organized and become organs. Organs are joined together as organ systems, and organ systems make up an organism, which is our human being. So what does this actually mean? Our organism is just made up of cells. Makes sense, right? Did I already make it too difficult? Okay, just making sure. Why is this so important? Every chronic disease Now remember, this is not viruses. This is not infective diseases. This is chronic diseases. They all have the same source. So take a look at this. If you put your organelles into an unhealthy lifestyle, they cannot function properly, which means that your cells can no longer make the proper amount of energy. When I read that book by Dr. Casey Means, her book is called Good Energy. What's the opposite of good? Bad. When your cells can no longer produce a good amount of energy, they're producing what's called bad energy. They can no longer produce. They become underpowered, and that leads to abnormal tissue and inflammation. That abnormal tissue and inflammation becomes organ dysfunction. When you have organ dysfunctions, well, now you're going to have heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and Alzheimer's, and then you might even get some symptoms like high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and pain. That's your warning sign. And then we take our warning signs, our symptoms, and we take them to a medical doctor, and what is he going to give you? Medicine and medication, drugs. What's that going to do? It's going to make that look better on paper and make you feel a little bit better. When you take those medications, did it address the cause of the problem in the first place? No. What's the cause? Bad energy because we live an unhealthy lifestyle. I could mic drop right now and walk out. Because that's the end of it. That's everything we need to know. The rest of today is based on what causes our body to make bad energy, what lifestyle choices are creating this, because if we can focus here and fix this, all of those things are going to go away. So for the next little bit, we need to talk biochemistry. I need to teach you how every cell makes energy. Anybody else, heart just skip a beat? Where's Dr. Sydney? I know hers did, and Caitlin over here, our other student. This is biochemistry. This gives me nightmares, just so you guys know. It's a second or third quarter class. It's been a few years since I've been. And it was called a Weeder class, meaning if you don't make it, you're probably not going to be a chiropractor. All right, and you guys ever been, you go to school, you have to learn something, it's really boring, and then you get older, you want to learn it, and you go back and go, this is really interesting. I look at this going, man, that is absolutely incredible. The good news for you is, well, this is metabolism. This is metabolism in a nutshell. We eat food, our body breaks it down into proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Our body then uses something called cellular respiration, which is inside your cells, to convert something called ADP into ATP. Everybody say ATP. Adenine triphosphate. Forget I said that. ATP. Everybody say it again. ATP with more energy. ATP. Good, because ATP is pure energy. Your body makes its own energy from the foods that we eat. And this is a fact that I thought was absolutely amazing. ATP is just a molecule, but each one of our bodies makes and produces 88 pounds of it every day. It makes it, it uses it, and recycles it, and does it again. ATP, pure energy. Where does this happen in our bodies? It happens in our mitochondria. Everybody say mitochondria. Okay, that was a little tougher, right? It's a long one. That is our energy powerhouse. This is our power producer. This is our generator of energy in our entire body. Every single one of your cells has mitochondria in them, typically up to about 1,000 mitochondria per cell. And what it does, it takes in oxygen, takes in sugar and fatty acids, and produces ATP. And when they are healthy, when your mitochondria are healthy, it produces lots of ATP and energy, but it's still going to produce few free radicals. You guys may have heard of free radicals before. These are bad guys. So I like to use an analogy for you guys. If I was, so we're having storms tonight, right? What if I went to Home Depot and I bought a brand new generator? And you put gasoline in the generator and I start it. It's gonna be loud, but it might not be very loud because it's brand new. And I'm gonna be able to plug all my things in and everything's gonna function properly. It's producing all the energy it needs to run all my things. But even though it's producing all the energy, it's loud, maybe be putting off some fumes, maybe sputtering a little bit. Those are your free radicals. It's collateral stuff, right? But as long as maybe I have a fan on blowing all the exhaust outside, we're good. That's normal. But when we live an unhealthy lifestyle, basically the mitochondria gets damaged, it gets gunked up. And now it's only producing a little bit of energy, but it's producing a lot of harmful free radicals. So instead of maybe buying a new generator, I'm gonna go out to my shed and pull out my old generator that's been there for 20 years, I've never serviced and barely ever used, and I'm gonna start it up today. And it might be sputtering, it's shaking, it's making a lot of noise. Little pieces of the gas is flying off of it, and it's producing some energy, but stuff is flickering. That is a damaged mitochondria. Make sense? So free radicals, not good. Now, what causes us to go from good energy to bad energy? Well, bad energy, there are 3 causes. You're gonna wanna write these ones down. Chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and mitochondrial dysfunction. MITO is a good abbreviation for that one. Chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and mitochondrial dysfunction. So what we need to do now is find out what do those even mean. So let's talk about these 3. Mitochondrial dysfunction. What causes mitochondrial dysfunction? Toxic exposure, chronic stress, nutrient deficiencies. One of the big ones is eating too much sugar and processed foods. That usually leads to blood sugar imbalances, which causes more mitochondrial dysfunction. A sedentary lifestyle, sleep deprivation, and even certain medications will cause direct damage to your mitochondria, like statins, beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, which are blood pressure medications, chemotherapy, and drinking excessive alcohol. They cause mitochondrial dysfunction or bad energy. Lifestyle-induced bad energy. So when you have mitochondrial dysfunction, what can that cause? Rebecca, migraine headaches, cardiovascular disease, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, cancer, metabolic syndrome, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, autoimmune disorders, and even autism. These are mitochondrial dysfunctions. These are chronic problems. The next thing is chronic stress. And chronic stress is linked to being the source of just about every chronic disease. And what causes chronic inflammation? Eating processed foods like gluten and dairy. Environmental toxins. Dietary lifestyle. So eating, again, high sugar, bad fat, processed foods, and not moving your body. And then chronic stress. Now, I pulled one out here called dysbiosis. Everybody say dysbiosis. Now everybody say microbiome. Microbiome is way more fun to say. Microbiome is the good bacteria that lives in our gut. We have billions and trillions of cells of bacteria that live in our gut. Those trillions of bacteria cells what they are responsible for is digesting food, producing immunoglobulins, so they're part of your immune system. They protect you, and they also produce serotonin, your happy neurotransmitter. And when your microbiome is happy because you're feeding it properly, we have good energy and good health. But dysbiosis is the opposite of having a healthy microbiome. Dys meaning bad, a bad biosis, bad life down there in your gut. And when that happens, it can actually trigger mitochondria. What causes dysbiosis? Again, excess refined sugars, ultra-processed foods, NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen. And people take ibuprofen like candy. They think it's no big deal because you can get it at Kroger over the counter. It will destroy your microbiome and lead to these problems. Chronic stress, Debbie, lack of sleep, alcohol consumption, physical inactivity, and smoking. Are you guys seeing a theme here? Sounds like the same thing causes all these? Yeah. It's called your lifestyle. What does chronic inflammation impact on the body? Look at this. In the brain, it leads to memory loss and cognitive decline. I don't know if you knew, but Alzheimer's in every other country is called type 3 diabetes. It is a blood sugar problem. Damaged vessels and heart disease, abnormal cell growth, also called cancer, damaged gut lining, food sensitivities and autoimmunity, weight gain, accelerated skin aging, and joint pain. If you are achy all the time, just understand that is chronic inflammation. The third cause of bad energy is oxidative stress. We talked about free radicals. Have you guys heard of antioxidants before? Yeah, but most of us probably don't know what that actually means other than we should probably get more of them, right? Yeah. So free radicals are unstable molecules. And when they're unstable, they bounce around and do damage to tissue. What does an antioxidant do? An antioxidant has an extra electron that says, hey, chill out. Gives it to the free radical and calms him down and neutralizes him. So if we're creating bad energy, we have a lot of free radicals. What do we need more of? Antioxidants. So when you're giving your body more antioxidants, you're reducing free radicals and helping stop oxidative stress. Because if your antioxidant intake and your free radical production are in balance, this is normal. This is like having a cozy campfire. It's right where I want it to be, and I'm poking at it, and we're keeping it going because we want it. It was normal. But when our free radicals become overwhelming with not enough antioxidants, this is like a raging forest fire, destroying our body. We are no longer in balance. And you see oxidative stress. This is what oxidative stress looks like in a fruit and vegetable. A normal cell gets attacked by free radicals and then becomes damaged with oxidative stress. What causes oxidative stress? I'm going to sound redundant here, but we're talking about it again. Air pollution, chronic stress, GMOs and pesticides. Aging can cause oxidative stress because your body has a harder time producing more antioxidants, which you can counterbalance by taking more antioxidants. Sedentary lifestyle, a disruption to your circadian rhythm. We're going to talk about that later. Processed foods, smoking, alcohol, drugs and medication, toxins in your water, and more chronic inflammation leads to oxidative stress, which leads to metabolic dysfunction. And what effects does oxidative stress have on our body? Fatigue, reduced concentration, a decreased mood, narrowing the arteries, increased blood glucose, so type 2 diabetes, hormonal imbalance, decreased cortisol, changes in your skin texture. Have you ever met somebody who's 40, but they look 60? That's oxidative stress. Have you ever met somebody who's 50 and looks 30, like my wife? Yeah. Antioxidants, right? Decreased immunity, decreased absorption of nutrients, and increased risk of allergies. This is all what happens to our body when we have oxidative stress. So, chronic diseases, heart disease, cancer, chronic lung disease, stroke, Alzheimer's, diabetes, and chronic kidney disease. We don't have 8 or 7 different chronic diseases. We have one chronic problem, and that is bad energy. Doesn't that just simplify everything? That's what I loved about that book. It's like, wow, I don't have to worry about these things if I worry about the one thing. And the one thing is making sure my cells have what they need so they can make good energy and no longer make bad energy. So what do we need to do to help our bodies start making more good energy? Well, here are 5 strategies. An anti-inflammatory, nutrient-dense nutrition plan. Good food. Regular movement and high-intensity exercise. Improving our sleeping habits and our circadian rhythm. Intermittent fasting, very important. And using key mitochondrial support nutrition through supplementation. But today we're going to talk all about making these things into habits. Because if you do it here and there, is it going to make a change? No. If you take a vitamin every once in a while, does that do anything? No. We need consistency. In order for you to be healthy, things need to be consistent. You do that through making habits. Has anybody read this book, Atomic Habits? 1, 2. This is a great book if you want to start making bigger changes in your life. You are what you tolerate, but you are what you do as a habit on a regular basis. So one of my favorite strategies that I learned in this book is called habit stacking. If you want to create a new habit, attach it to something that you already have a habit of doing. So one of my problems lately has been being consistent with my supplementation. My wife is phenomenal at it. She has it all laid out. It's in the kitchen. Every morning she takes it, every night she takes it. When I'm in the kitchen, I'm cooking, and then I'm not focused on that. I'm just focused on, I want to cook, and then I want to go chill out and relax. So being in the kitchen is not a place for me to take supplements. So I said, I'm going to take it to my office and put it in my little office because I'm there all the time. I'll see it, and I'll take it. Just because it's near where you are a lot, what happens? It becomes wallpaper, right? You don't even pay attention to it. And that's been happening to me. I'm like, that was a 30-day supply. That was like last week or last month, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. It's been lasting way too long, and you guys know what I'm talking about. You bought a 30-day supply a year ago, and you still have some left? Yeah. So I said, well, I need to make a change here. I need to make sure I'm consistent because I know that consistency is going to make the biggest change. What do we do every morning when we wake up? We brush our teeth. Well, we should, right? We brush our teeth. What I've done is I put my supplements right next to my toothbrush. So now I brush my teeth, I rinse my mouth, I put my supplements in and drink my water, and boom. I haven't missed a day of supplements in 30 days because I'm being more consistent by stacking my new habit on top of an old habit. Easy thing to do. Now, let's talk about the hierarchy of competence. This is something I learned in this Good Energy book. This is pretty cool stuff. Just kind of eye-opening about how we learn. There's 4 levels of competence. You have level 1, which is unconscious incompetence. Level 2 is conscious incompetence. This is tough. Level 3, conscious competence, and level 4 is unconscious competence. So level 1 is I don't know what I don't know. I didn't know I was supposed to read labels of everything I bought. I just thought if it was at the store, they wouldn't do anything bad to me, right? So I just put it in my cart. So when I made my transformation, I realized, and that's one of the things I started doing, was reading the labels. I read the book and go, oh my goodness, I'm supposed to read the labels. With that education, that knowledge, I immediately went from level 1 to level 2. Conscious incompetence, meaning I know what I'm supposed to do, and I'm just not doing it. That's where a lot of us are. I know I'm supposed to eat right and exercise, but I'm not going to do it. You guys there? Yeah, okay. So that's level 2. I know I'm supposed to, I'm just not gonna. And then you have level 3, which is, you know what? I'm going to start doing the things I know I'm supposed to do. And I'm going to make that effort to do it. And that takes action. That takes work. But when you do it all the time, it becomes a habit that you don't even have to think about that you're doing now. That's when you graduate to level 4, unconscious competence. So with my label reading, I didn't know I was supposed to read labels too. I learned about reading labels. Now I'm going to start reading all the labels. And I tell you, when I first went to the store and read every label of everything I bought, that was like a 3-hour adventure. But I put the work in. And now when I get there, I just turn around and look. I don't even know because I don't know I'm doing it because it's become habitual. I don't have to think about it. It's just what I do. So our goal is to create habits that are going to allow us to go from level 1 to level 4. Right now, when you leave here, I guarantee you're all going to be at level 2. Okay? Action at the end of this will take you to level 3. And consistent action, habitual action, will take you to level 4. I've been talking a lot about reading labels. I have a quick video for you. This is from a cartoon from the 90s. It might take some of you guys back. But it's amazing to see that they were talking about this in the 90s and we had no idea because it went right over our head.
Animaniacs, those are the facts.
Hey, let's get some ice cream.
How about this one? Pistachio, almond, fruit fudge, butterscotch delight.
Ingredients: zinc trisodium aspartate, sorbitol and bisulfate, oxide beta-carotene, lactic acid carabine. Grade A milk emulsified, maltodextrin alkylide, silicon dioxide, lots of sugar.
Hey, all right.
Calcified synthetic salt, artificial barley malt, glycerin and aspartate, folic acid.
That tastes great.
Monosodium glutamate, dehydrated calciumate, soybean oil, butter fat, caramel center.
I'll eat that.
Hooray for sugar, cause we love it. Chocolate chips, we want more of it. Cakes and ice cream, want to shove it down our throats real fast.
Here's a candy bar, you tried it?
Hey, let's all see what's inside it.
Gelatinized triglycerin, phosphate, soybean lecithin, deoxylite, trisilicon, dipped in chocolate.
Bring it on!
Citrus enzymes, BHT, powdered milk,
Sounds good to me.
baking soda, carob gum, carbohydrates.
Yummy, yum.
Monosodium glutamate,
zinc, disodium alginate, whole grain flour, yeast, and fat.
Time to eat it. I'll do that.
We like sweets a lot, so give us all you got, and we'll stuff them in our bodies till they make our insides rot.
Take you guys back. Yeah, I had forgotten all about Animaniacs. That was a good one. But wow, right? Is that not kind of what? They were teaching us that in 1993, and they just went right over our head about how bad that stuff is. That was just normal, so what did we do? We tolerated it. So what we need to do now is we need to start making a good food habit of reading the ingredient label of everything that we buy. Now, I know in the beginning, Dr. Sidney mentioned we have a couple workshops. I'm going to be talking over the next little while about some of the things, but if you don't understand some of the things I'm talking about, it's because I've already assumed that you've been to those workshops. So if you've not, like a guest, understand it. If I'm talking over your head, it's in that workshop, okay? But this is something that I learned not too long ago. Now, we know, and hopefully you know, the ingredients are listed by quantity, but if you look at this ingredient label, you'll notice that it's kind of hard to read for you guys here. There are 7 different types of sugar in this one product. Corn syrup, sugar, corn syrup solids, dextrose, high fructose corn syrup, fructose, glycerin, and polydextrose. Why would they put 7 different types of sugar in one product? It's because if they put it all as one, it would be the number 1 ingredient, sugar. This is why you shouldn't stop at the very beginning. You need to read it to the end. That's deceptive. Do you guys agree with that? And who are they deceiving? They're deceiving us, the consumer, because they want you to be addicted to sugar. Understand, if you feel like you're addicted to sugar, it is not your fault. It is not your fault. This food is made addictive to keep you going and keep you eating. And the marketing and the commercials and the ads that they run, again, it's psychological warfare on you. They do it on purpose. It is not your fault. Now, Nicole, my patient back here, sent me this the other day. He says, can you believe this? I can, and I said I would put it in my workshop because it's that unbelievable. This is a photo of what was being put into this gentleman's mother's feeding tube in the hospital. The first problem is that it was made by Nestle, okay? But if you look at the ingredients, first of all, it says calorically dense, complete nutrition. Complete nutrition made by a candy company. Great. Ingredients include water, corn syrup, canola oil, soy protein isolate. I don't need to read anything past that. That's what they're putting right into her feeding tube. And they're going to say, well, the argument would be, well, it's caloric dense. We need her to eat. We need to get her weight on, right? We need to give her the nutrients she needs. Why does it have to be unhealthy? They're trying to keep you sick. And that makes me mad. And it should make you mad. There's zero excuse for this other than somebody's profiting on that. Why couldn't they put healthy food in there? It costs more? BS. It's because they want to keep you sick. Because you're already used to eating the standard American diet, right? The SAD diet, full of polyunsaturated fatty acids, which are your seed and vegetable oils, refined sugars, refined grains, and ultra-processed foods. In fact, the American adult eats 58% of their food comes from ultra-processed foods. Now, there was a study recently of 20,000 participants that were followed over 15 years who ate 4 servings of ultra-processed foods every single day. What were the results? 62% of them were dead at follow-up. So eating just four servings of ultra-processed foods increase your risk of death by 62%, according to a 20,000 participant study. You might think, well, 4, that sounds like a lot of stuff, right? 4 whole servings of ultra-processed foods. Let me just give you a hint of what that looks like. That's a handful of pretzels, a serving of tortilla chips, a slice of store-bought bread, and a cookie. Some of you probably had that for breakfast. Hopefully not. Just kidding. That's not a lot, is it? Doesn't seem like a lot. And what are you doing? You're increasing your risk of death by 62%. You see, if you eat the standard American diet, it's going to give you the standard American diseases, and then you're going to be treated with the standard American drugs. This is the stuff that gunks up our cells, leads to bad energy. It keeps us from being healthy. I'll have patients say, well, I go to Weight Watchers and I count calories. I have a major problem with counting calories. I can't tell you the last time I looked at a calorie because I don't care about calories because they tell me nothing when it comes to is it healthy or is it not. Because according to Weight Watchers, we want to have the least amount of calories when we're choosing between A and B foods. Well, 22 almonds is 153 calories. A Twinkie is 150 calories. Which one would a Weight Watcher choose? 150. The Twinkies. Do you think that's a healthy option? Obviously not, which is why we should not be focusing on calories. We should be focusing on quality. Quality is what counts. We need to eat more quality meats, quality foods. So, unfortunately, some people think that these foods are healthy because we've been told by marketing that they were. I want to go through these because I want to teach you that they are not healthy. Low-fat and fat-free foods are not healthy because if they take the fat out, they put what in? Sugar. Because if they didn't put the sugar in, it would not taste good at all. So when you see fat-free or low-fat, just understand that's more sugar. Okay, we want more good fat in our diet. Granola bars and cereal are typically refined sugars, unhealthy oils, and preservatives like BHT. Flavored yogurts. Flavored yogurts, they taste like desserts. There's tons of sugar in there. If it's like, oh my God, every bite you're like, oh my God, this is so good. That's all sugar. Veggie chips and veggie straws are typically from powdered vegetables, baked or fried with unhealthy oils. Sports drinks, they're replenishing. They have electrolytes, right? Powerade, Gatorade, what else is in there? Sugar, high fructose corn syrup, dyes, and if there says 0 calories, what do they put in there instead? Sucralose, Splenda, that causes dysbiosis, leads to mitochondrial dysfunction and bad energy. Artificial sweeteners, diet products, and then processed plant-based foods like Beyond Meat. I don't know why I'd want my vegetable to taste like beef. I don't know how or why they would do that. If I want my vegetables tasting like a vegetable. It's 100% processed, tons of soy and bad stuff in there. So we need to start paying attention to if we are eating protein, which we all should be eating, high-quality protein, we need to make sure that we know what our food is eating before we eat it. So like a cow, okay, what should cows eat? Cows should be eating grass. But most of the cows do not eat grass because they don't grow up fast enough, don't produce enough weight. So what do farmers give them? Grains and GMO corn. That makes them big and fat and obese, which makes the scale heavier, which makes the farmer more money. But what does it do to the quality of the meat? Destroys it. It's very high in omega-6 fatty acids, which are inflammatory. All the good omega-3s are gone that are anti-inflammatory. So when your doctor says don't eat red meat, they're actually saying don't eat conventionally raised red meat because it will cause heart disease and cancer. It does produce bad energy. But if you're getting 100% grass-fed, grass-finished, the omega-3s and omega-6s are in balance, you could eat it all the time and have no issue with health. What about our chicken? What should our chickens be? They should be eating organic, right? Because if they're not eating organic feed and bugs and worms, what are they getting? Corn and grains. What about our fish? Wild caught. I used to think that farm-raised sound way healthier, right? Because we can control what they're eating. Then I found out what they're actually feeding them. And I'm like, why would you feed salmon corn? How is that a natural diet? If we're eating that fish and we were trying to get the health benefits from eating that fish, we wanted to be eating the natural diet that caused that fish to be healthy for us. So salmon need to be wild caught. Just so you understand, there's no such thing as Atlantic salmon. That means it's 100% farm raised. Do not be afraid that when you go to a restaurant and it says salmon, to ask, is it wild caught or farm raised? 99% of the time, it's farm raised. If it was wild caught, it would probably be pretty proud of it. It would say wild caught and it would probably be a little bit more money. What about eggs? Are eggs good for you? Yes, they are good for you. They are a complete protein, but there's a lot of confusion on which ones to get. Cage-free or free range or pasture-raised, what's the difference? So cage-free means there's no cages, but they might be inside all the time in crowded quarters, in their own feces, and still maybe not fed very good. There's not very much mobility. I want my chickens that are healthy, producing the eggs that I'm going to eat. Then you have free range, which sounds like they can go wherever they want, whenever they want. Not exactly true. It means that they have some time outside. Doesn't say how much time outside. And then you have your pasture raised, and these are the animals that have the most freedom, living outdoor in pastures, access to naturally forage and get bugs and worms like they should. And they typically will have a higher nutritional value, including more omega-3s and more vitamins. That's good, right? Yeah, so we need to eat more good fats and less bad fats. But where do we get bad fats? This is a video I'm going to show you guys that I've been playing in my office for the past 2 weeks because it's incredible. And I know I had some patients not coming in their room for an adjustment because they were stuck watching it because it was so intriguing. So I gave you a couple of minutes on this. Was that you?
The evidence leads me to believe that the seed oils, the highly polyunsaturated vegetable oils, are driving probably 90% of obesity and chronic disease across the board. Seed oils are the oils derived almost exclusively from seeds that mostly would have been waste products and or beans, in this case, soybeans. So I've broken them down into the seed oils, and that would be oils like soybean, corn, canola, cottonseed, rapeseed, grapeseed, sunflower, safflower, rice bran, sesame, and peanut oils.
100 years ago, there was almost no chronic disease. Physicians knew what these diseases were and had written about them, and there were textbooks on them, but they were not observing them. There was virtually no obesity. Obesity was almost non-existent. There was almost zero diabetes. Now these are all at epidemic proportions in America.
And between 1865, when our consumption was zero in the United States, and it was less than 0.1 grams of vegetable oils per person per day in 1865, grew all the way to 65 grams per person per day by 2014 globally.
The average American consumes 3 to 5 tablespoons of seed oils per day, and it's in almost all ultra-processed foods. Salad dressings, it's in cookies, it's in cakes, it's in crackers, it's in breads, it's in plant milks. To consume the equivalent of 3 to 5 tablespoons of corn oil, we would have to eat 60 to 70 ears of corn. To consume the equivalent of 3 to 5 tablespoons of soybean oil, we're looking at more than 2 pounds of soybeans. Amounts that we would never, ever have encountered historically as humans. So what we have here is a very striking discordance between what we have done for hundreds of thousands of years and what we're eating today in our diets. Incredibly evolutionarily inconsistent consumption of seed oils, which are just easy to consume today.
And with that has come this explosion of overweight, obesity, and chronic disease. That makes seed oil consumption the single greatest change to the diet of mankind in all of history.
Now, seed oils are the #1 cause of chronic disease. Wow. That is amazing. So what does that mean we really need to be focusing on? Taking those out of our diet. How do we do that? Reading our labels. Thank you. We got to read our labels. So if it has sunflower oil in it, no good. Safflower, no. Soybean, no. Canola, no. Rapeseed, that's in that Oatly milk, no. You got to make sure that you are only eating healthy fats. And that's in that other workshop, the Food 101. When you go out to eat, you're getting a salad dressing, 99% of the time, soybean oil. You could ask for olive oil and balsamic vinegar. Way better option. If you go out and you get fried food, it's going to be a seed oil. There are very few restaurants that do not have it. I don't know if you guys have been following the Make America Healthy Again movement. Thank God something good is happening from the top down for the first time in forever. I saw the other day Steak and Shake, which is not a place I frequent, or I think I've eaten there once in my life. They took it upon themselves to stop using seed oils in their fryers, instead of replace it with beef tallow. How awesome. Just so you guys know, when we were all younger at kids, that's exactly what they used at McDonald's and Burger King, all the places to fry food. And then in the 80s, seed oil became cheaper, so they used that, and look what happened to all of us. We all got sick. Bad energy. So we need to make sure we're eating more good energy producing foods. Sugar is not one of them. What is wrong with sugar? Well, if you're eating white sugar, it's actually called an anti-nutrient. An anti-nutrient is something that you would consume, and then it actually has to take magnesium, calcium, potassium out of your bones in order to properly metabolize white sugar. So it actually causes osteoporosis. Most people think osteoporosis is because we don't have enough calcium. Guess who taught you that? No, the milk industry. Milk does the body good, right? We all know that commercial from the 80s, right? It's stuck in our head. Milk does the body good. No. Calcium is, no, we get way more, we already get enough calcium. Sugar is what causes osteoporosis. But when you're doing this, it leads to insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome, more bad energy, increased risk of type 2 diabetes, leads to obesity, raises your triglycerides, LDLs, and like I said earlier, it is highly addictive. So we're going to practice reading labels here real quick. We're going to read this together, and then I want you to tell me if you should give it to your family and your kids, okay? So the first ingredient here says it's made with smiles, which means it must be healthy, right? Okay, so it's made with smiles and enriched wheat flour, cheddar cheese, vegetable oils like canola or sunflower and or soybean, because they're not even sure, salt, sugar, autolyzed yeast extract, which is just like MSG, paprika, spices, celery, onion. Okay, would you give that to somebody you loved? No. Well, do not feel bad if you have. Just don't do it anymore. Listen, if you didn't know, you didn't know. You were at level 1. Now you're at level 2. And when you go home and throw it all away, you're at level 3. And when you never buy it again because you raise your bottom standard, you're now at level 4. Okay? There's better options out there for your children. Because I can tell you, when things are made with wheat, and it does not say organic wheat, I guarantee you it's made with a GMO wheat product. Do you guys know what GMOs are? Genetically modified organisms. I have a 1-minute video I want to show you that is going to drop your jaw.
GMO, genetically modified organisms. They take genes from one species and force it into the DNA of other species. And they can mix and match between species that have never normally mated. So they have spider genes that they put into goats in the hopes that they can milk the goat to get spiderweb protein to make bulletproof vests. I'm not making this up. They've taken cow genes and put them into pigs so that the pigs have cowhides. They've taken human genes and put it into corn to make spermicide. And for the food we eat, there's 2 main categories. The herbicide-tolerant crops, they can spray them with herbicide and not kill them, or the pesticide-producing crops that produce their own toxic insecticide that if a bug bites those plants, it breaks open the stomach and kills them. So they're completely swapping genes between the normal species barriers, creating new organisms that were not part of the evolutionary process.
Isn't that kind of sick? Yeah, crazy, crazy stuff. And the reason why I want to teach you about GMOs is a lot of people know GMOs and they probably think it's bad, but they don't know why it's bad. And then I did a survey of my patients over the past couple of weeks. I said, can you tell me what glyphosate is? And I know, Jen, you got really, really close to it. Most people did not know what it was. I loved hearing their answers, though. It was quite creative. The only person that actually got it right was a landscaper because he actually uses it as weed killer. Glyphosate is Roundup. Everybody say glyphosate. I do not want you to forget this. Glyphosate is Roundup. It kills weeds. And when you have GMOs, like the conventionally raised corn, soybeans, and wheat, they are called Roundup Ready crops. Just like the video showed you, they spray the whole field with glyphosate, and they will not die, which means the glyphosate has been sprayed on your food. And guess what you're eating? Glyphosate. And glyphosate, according to the International Agency for Research on Cancer, causes cancer. Great. Awesome. Right? When we go to dinner and they bring the bread, is it organic? No. Should you eat it? No. When you go to a Mexican restaurant, they bring you the corn chips. Listen, I get it. Corn chips are good. Right? Is the corn organic? No. What's it fried in? Soybean oil. Bad energy. Skip them. It's not that hard to do. I can tell you right now, it's a lot harder to not eat the chips when they're on the table. If you say, please do not bring them, you don't miss them. But there's another study that showed that test subjects who are exposed to glyphosate could no longer digest gluten properly, induced inflammation in the gut lining, which led to leaky gut syndrome. Have you guys heard of leaky gut syndrome before? Yes. What does glyphosate have to do with that? Glyphosate inflames the intestinal lining, allowing those gaps to open and allow food to go through. And when the food goes through, like gluten, it causes autoimmune disorders, gluten insensitivities, and chronic inflammation. So we need to make sure that doesn't happen. By not eating glyphosate, you can help yourself. So what are our eating habits going to be? For these next 30 days, we need to make some changes, proper habits. We are going to eat the Max Living Advanced Plan. Raise your hand if you've done that before. Advanced Plan, people. Handful, not very many, we can do it. It's not extremely difficult. It's really about eliminating sugars and grains. Right, Rich? You eliminated that and then you lost 15 pounds, 18 pounds? 15 pounds in 10 days just by removing grains and sugars. And I'm telling you right now, what you lost is what I lost. It was not fat. It was inflammation. You will lose inflammation that quickly. We're going to eliminate and we're going to minimize our fruit intake. Because what are fruits made of? They're sugar. But somebody's like, well, God put that on here for us to enjoy. Yes, he did. But for the next 30 days, we're going to minimize the fruits that we're going to intake. And we're going to keep it to green apples, which are low in sugar, your organic berries, and a grapefruit. Okay, so we can still have some. We're going to change the quality of the proteins that we're eating. We're going to make sure they're high quality. So we're going to go with grass-fed protein, grass-fed beef. We're going to do organic chicken and wild-caught fish. We're going to eliminate GMOs. If you have anything that says corn or soy or wheat in your house and it does not say organic before it, it is GMO, we're not going to eat it. We're going to eat bigger meals earlier in the day, and then we're going to adhere to a defined eating window. That is also known as intermittent fasting. Have you guys heard of this before? Has anybody done it before? Raise your hand high if you've done it. Awesome. So intermittent fasting is one of the easiest ways to change your metabolism, to help you burn fat, detox, and lose weight. So we have 3 plans in the challenge. The core one is the easiest. Okay, this is something that we should all do all the time. It's your 12-12, meaning after your dinner, whatever time you eat dinner, you are no longer allowed to eat anything until breakfast the next morning, which should be at least 12 hours later. Because in order for your body to properly detoxify and your gastrointestinal system to work properly, it needs 12 hours of no food. So that should just be everybody's new minimum standard. If I eat dinner at 8 p.m., I can't have anything until 8 a.m. 6 p.m., 6 a.m. It's not that difficult. But my nighttime snackers reset the clock. I eat at 6 p.m., but I had a snack at 10. Well, guess what your new clock is? 10 a.m. Okay? Now, I would not recommend eating at night because it's not very good for your body. You know, it's an easy way to gain weight, but at least do the 12-hour thing. Then we have the intermediate, which is your 16-8 method. The 16-8 method is going to be the most effective way of burning fat and turning your body more into a fat burner instead of a carb burner. That is one of our major goals here. So what that means is you have an 8-hour window where you're allowed to eat your food. So if you have dinner, and then 16 hours of not eating. So if you have dinner at 6 p.m., that means 12 hours later is 6 a.m., add four more hours, at 10 a.m. is when you can have breakfast. You can look at it as 16 hours of fasting, or I like to look at it as an 8-hour window of eating, whichever one you want to look at it as. That is your intermittent fasting. And then for the advanced people we have, it's a 20 or 18.4, 18.6. That's good math. 18.6. I have some people that do 24. They do a 4-hour window. Yesterday, that's what I did, and it wasn't on purpose. But I'll tell you, when you do this more, your body becomes more flexible. So when you first start doing this, you might be a little irritable, going, where are my carbs? I'm not feeling great. Where's my energy? Because your body wants the carbs, because it's used to the carbs. When you do this for 7 to 14 days, your body will go, oh, we're not getting the carbs. Well, turn to fat. Let's go to the fat and let's start burning the fat. And when you start burning the fat, like Rich said, he has so much energy now. And I'll tell you, the first time you do this, it's going to take 7 to 14 days to make that switch. Push through it. It might not be the most fun 7 to 14 days, but push through it. And I'll tell you, the more often you challenge your body like that, the easier and more flexible your body is, it becomes easier. So yesterday I had all the energy and I didn't eat very much because my body's like, oh, we don't have the carbs? Cool, burn the fat. It's not freaking out, where are my carbs? It's called nutritional flexibility. Okay, we need to make sure we do that because I know that after 3 days, you're going to think these are chicken fingers. Okay? These are not chicken fingers. These are doggies. So one of the best ways to break your fast, well, who thought they were chicken fingers, by the way? Kelly did. Nice. Is to break your fast with protein. That's the best way. I suggest doing a protein shake. This is the protein that I used to drink when I thought I was being healthy because I didn't read the labels. I looked at the front. It said muscle milk, had 50 grams of protein, had all the minerals I needed, and it said only 3 grams of total sugar. I'm like, this sounds like a winner. And if you guys have ever tried it before, it tastes delicious. There's a reason for that, artificial flavors. But then I started looking at the ingredients. Dairy derived from protein blend of milk. Okay, it's not grass-fed milk. We need grass-fed protein. We need grass-fed milk, right? Maltodextrin, sodium caseinate, which is MSG, sucralose, and canola oil. No wonder I'm putting this in my body. I'm causing more inflammation. I'm like, man, I'm getting buff. No, I was getting inflamed. It wasn't until I started reading the labels going, oh my gosh, I'm doing this to myself. This is why I'm recommending that we use our bone broth protein in chocolate or vanilla to break your fast. And our protein is 100% grass-fed. It's high in collagen, no sugars, and no artificial sweeteners. It's sweetened with stevia. Did you guys have the shakes here this morning? Did you guys try those this morning? Yeah. It's organic strawberries. It was flax milk and bone broth protein. Super duper simple and healthy for you. It's got all the nutrients you need to get started. All right. Talking about supplements, let's introduce you to the foundational 3. Yes, Kelly. Yes, there are smoothie recipes in your book. So in the book there are a bunch of smoothie recipes, and then there's a QR code on that book for even more smoothie recipes. Jason.
What about the whey protein that you have?
Whey protein is going to be just as good. I wanted to pick one or the other for today. I'm fine with the whey protein as well. It's a little bit, it has dairy in it, so some people are a little bit more sensitive to that. This is less. Yes, this is easier for people to digest. And also for the collagen in here, it's going to help soothe gut lining inflammation. So if we've been eating a poor diet, typical standard American diet, I usually want to start people on the bone broth protein because it will help heal those sores that you might have on the inside. Okay? All right, so let's introduce you guys to what's called the foundational 3. These are our brand new supplements. I'm super excited to go through with you. The first one here is inflammation and immune support. The second one is cellular health and longevity. And the third one is digestion and detox. Now, one of the standouts about these foundational 3 is that within the 3, they contain 20 clinically studied ingredients. But here's the thing. You might have heard that before. And you have these clinical studies that say, if you take 5,000 IUs of vitamin D, it'll help boost your immune system and kill cancer. Awesome. Then you have a vitamin company that says, that sounds like a really cool thing. Let's put some vitamin D in our stuff so we can say that too. And they put 600 IUs in it. So you're not getting the studied dosage. When you look at these studies, you want to say, oh, it had this effect, but at what dosage? And most of the time when you buy vitamins, they're nowhere near the clinically studied dosages. What sets these apart, just one of the things that sets these apart, the 20 clinically studied ingredients are at the studied dosages. So you're actually, when you read these studies and it says it does this, this, or this, it's actually going to do it because you're getting the amount that needed for it to happen. Isn't that cool? Now, where do these come from? Have you guys heard of Jordan Rubin before? Yes. Maker's Diet. Yes, he created Garden of Life supplements. Yep. So we are sourcing these supplements from his regenerative organic farm. So you're going to see regenerative organic certified ingredients in these 3 products. He is an amazing guy. And what does regenerative organic even mean? So if you were to go to an organic farm, they're not using pesticides, they're not using herbicides, but they're going to farm the land and take everything from that land, and then they're going to move on to another piece of land because they've over-farmed it. Regenerative organic certified means that every year that land, that soil has to be healthier than the year before. So they're actually putting in, regenerating nature, regenerating the soil so that you're getting maximum nutrients, maximum ingredient potency from things that are grown on that earth. This is going to help support sustainable practices, and this really helped align with Max Living's vision for what we want to provide for our patients and our communities. And what's really cool is in 2 weeks, I'm going to get to go to his regenerative organic farm, hang out with him, take pictures, and find out and see for myself where our products are actually coming from. How cool is that? Because most of the time you go to Kroger and you buy something and it's full of junk and you have no idea what manufacturing plant made that. This is not a manufacturing plant. This is an actual farm. And another thing that's new to us is that there are going to be grass-fed organs in these 3 products. And they say that like heals like. So if you have a thyroid issue and you take thyroid, it's going to help your thyroid. It's going to give you the peptides it needs to heal itself. So what are you getting? You're getting thyroid, adrenal, pancreas, thymus, which is good for the immune system, spleen, again, an immune system booster, gallbladder, stomach, and small intestine. This is stuff that does not happen anywhere else. I actually looked it up. I said, okay, we can't be the only ones doing this. And in fact, we were not. I found another company online that has grass-fed organs in capsules. And what I found was each one of these products cost between $38 and $70 per bottle. So were they good? Probably. Were they expensive? Yeah. Good news for you is you're getting this in the foundational 3. So let's break them down. Let's talk about them. Cellular health and longevity. What is this going to do for us? It's going to help support energy production and mitochondrial integrity. That means something to you guys now, doesn't it? Mitochondrial health means good energy. Longevity, it's going to protect against cellular aging or oxidative stress. It's going to help us live and look longer. Metabolism and hormone balance, it's going to help metabolic efficiency so we can produce more good energy and less bad energy. Strength and resilience, it's going to produce and promote muscles, stress reduction, and improve endurance. And it's also going to boost your brain's function, so elevating focus, clarity, and overall cognitive health. So let's go through now the studied ingredients. This one here has 9 different studied ingredients at the studied dosages. The first one is melon extract. Everybody say superoxide dismutase. Maybe we should sing it like the Animaniacs did, right? I'm not going to do it. It sounds like it was in there, right? So let's just abbreviate that to SOD. That's a lot easier, right? Although I enjoy saying superoxide dismutase. What is that? Well, it's actually from a melon. Somebody had once cut a melon and laid it set out, and it never oxidized. It took like 3 weeks to start to break down. And they said, well, what is in that melon that's allowing it to not rot? Superoxide dismutase. It is an antioxidant, one of the strongest antioxidants that we could ever take. And you're getting it here because it's an antioxidant, anti-ager, and it combats oxidative stress. I don't remember the name of it. It was an exotic melon. Yeah. Ashwagandha. Everybody say ashwagandha. That's another fun one. That is an adaptogen. Did you say bless you? Nice. It's an adaptogen. It balances your hormones. This is really used a lot in my office for people who don't sleep well, but it can also adapt to help give you energy. It also will reduce your cortisol levels, which will help you burn fat, also help with irritability and depression, and also helps with anxiety. Pretty important stuff. And then we have rhodiola root, which will reduce stress, enhance endurance, and help with cellular oxygenation, which helps you produce more ATP, which is good energy. The next three, methylated B vitamins. Methylated, meaning that there's a methyl group attached to your B vitamin, which means it's easier for your body to absorb and use. Well, I've been taking these vitamins, and all the B vitamins in there are methylated, which means when you go to the bathroom, you're not peeing neon yellow anymore, okay? Because your body's actually using all the B vitamins, which helps with energy support, cellular health, mitochondrial function, improves your memory, mood, and enhances your skin, hair, and nails. Weizmannia coagulans. This supports conversion of antioxidants into an active metabolite, which is the active form of your antioxidant. And then if you guys heard pomegranates are good for you, right? Should you drink pomegranate juice, though? So much sugar. The idea is great. Get the pomegranates. The execution is poor, too much sugar. So what's in it in pomegranate that makes it so good? Ellagic acid. And this will protect you from free radicals, and it's a cardiovascular protector. Now, the next three I'm going to teach you about deserve their own slide because I found them extremely interesting. This first one is Indian globe thistle and mango bark. This is also called your anti-ager, cellular health, and physical strength and power. I found 251 published studies on these products. What they showed was improved strength in your muscles, 1.5 times more endurance and 2 times more muscle growth in as little as 4 weeks just by taking this one supplement. It reduces your physical and mental fatigue. It's an antioxidant, so it will combat aging and oxidative stress. Helps with indigestion, constipation, and diarrhea, and will improve your skin condition like eczema and psoriasis. The next one, grains of paradise. Everybody say that one. That's a fun one. Grains of paradise. Yes, grains of paradise. I want to go there, right? It's a holistic thermogenic. What is a thermogenic? It increases heat, increases your basal metabolic rate, so you're burning more calories at rest. So the 29 studies show that it significantly increases your total energy expenditure. It activates your brown fat. Brown fat is full of mitochondria. If you've been to our metabolism workshop the last couple of years, you learn more about that. It will significantly increase your metabolic rate within 30 minutes of taking it. 5-time increase in calories burned over 2 hours, and will improve your body composition because who doesn't want to burn fat doing nothing, right? The last one here, pyrroloquinoline quinone. Let's just call it PQQ because I think I butchered that anyway. PQQ. PQQ is the longevity vitamin. Have you guys heard of CoQ10 before? Okay. So CoQ10 is an antioxidant. It's an energizer of your cells. And it moves things for you, right? It's going to move your metabolism. If you think of CoQ10 as a shovel, PQQ is his big brother, the bulldozer. It is a huge, huge thing when it comes to making sure we relieve inflammation in our cells. This will enhance your brain function, reduces oxidative stress, and when you reduce oxidative stress, you reduce aging. So it's an anti-ager. Look at this. It promotes mitochondrial biogenesis. Biogenesis means your body's going to produce more mitochondria so you can produce more good energy. It reduces cholesterol and it will improve your sleep. It improves your sleep quality and your ability to fall asleep and stay asleep longer. I've been taking these supplements for 30 days, and my wife and I, when we go to bed, she hits the pillow and she's out. I'm the person who, my mind races, I'm up for another hour. Well, for the past 30 days, I've been like 30 seconds, maybe a minute after her. And the other day, as I was falling asleep, she smacked me and goes, "You're changing." I was like, what do you mean I'm changing? She goes, "Do you see how well you're falling asleep?" I'm like, "Well, not anymore." But I didn't realize why I was falling asleep so well until I started doing this study on this. I was like, this is the only thing that's different. I've been taking these supplements for 30 days, and I am falling asleep so much quicker and getting deeper, better rest. PQQ. What else is in this supplement? Grass-fed bovine thyroid, adrenals, and pancreas. That's going to help with resilience and hormone balance. Regenerative, organic, certified mulberry, blackberry, and mango, the whole plant. What's that going to do? It supports your metabolism, digestion. We have whole food organic zinc and copper, which is going to help with your enzymatic function and your immune system. Organic spirulina, which is important for cellular energy and brain health. And choline, which is an anti-inflammatory, which also helps with brain health. So this product right here takes place of all of these products that we have at our office. Adrenal balance, B complex, cell repair, CoQ10 with lipoic acid, Max Fit, metabolics burn, vitamin B12, and zinc plus. So by taking cellular longevity, you no longer need to take those products right there. That's $292 worth of products no longer needed. Now, one thing I do want to tell you guys about when we talk about these foundational 3, this is going to create a great foundation for us to start. Can you take all 3? Yes, you should. Can you take 1? That's fine. 2 is better, 3 is best. I've had patients say, well, does that mean you're not going to have anything else to sell or to provide for us? I said, no. This is a great foundation. Some of you might need additional support on top of this. So somebody might still need extra vitamin C. They might need extra vitamin D. So we will have those still at the office, but I'm recommending taking this instead of the packets. This is what I'm doing from now on, and this is what I'm doing for my family as well. That one product is only $69. And today, because you're here, we're doing 10% off of everything that we have. Second product, inflammation and immune support. Everybody can use some more reduction of inflammation and immune support. What is this going to do? It's going to help promote healthy inflammatory response, strengthen our immune system. This is also really good for your joint health and skin health, and it's going to help you recover faster from injuries and just overall physical stress. This product has 6 different clinically studied ingredients. First one is organic vitamin A, which is an immune modulatory, meaning it's going to help boost your immune system. And it's also anti-inflammatory. Vitamin D, you'll see on your bottle it says 125 micrograms. That's the same thing as 5,000 IUs, which is what I recommend as a good, stable foundation. That will help your immune system. It helps with your body, your brain, and it helps fight cancer. And vitamin K2, which actually decreases mitochondrial dysfunction, helps your body stop making bad energy. It supports arterial inflammation and cardiovascular support. And this product has 3 more called Boswellia extract. Boswellia actually supports inflammation, or healthy inflammation, so it actually reduces inflammation in your gut and supports healthy inflammation in your joints. Organic fermented ginger pomace extract, which is also another anti-inflammatory. Studies actually show that it may help with people with MS. And then hydrolyzed eggshell membrane collagen. This one was really cool. I found 1,428 studies on that one product. However, I couldn't find one product on the market that had it in it. So what does hydrolyzed eggshell membrane collagen do? There's 9 types of collagen in that one product right there. It supports proper inflammatory responses, but it also helps with your joints, your tendons, your ligaments, reduces joint pain, and potentiates your skin and beauty resilience. All right, so those are the studied ones. What else is in there? We have regenerative organic certified blue and green fermented turmeric. That was new to me. That actually reduces cardiac oxidative stress and is a protective against cancer and diabetes. Turmeric root, the curcumin, we've talked about that in the past, reduces inflammation. Quercetin, that's an antiviral. It decreases histamines, decreases inflammation, and most allergy medications are based on how quercetin works in the body. Bromelain, it helps with your immune system. It helps reduce inflammation. Grass-fed bovine collagen, so you're getting another type of collagen. So you got 10 different types of collagen in this product now. Grass-fed bovine thymus and spleen, which will help boost your immune system. And organic fermented galangal root, which is another anti-inflammatory. Pretty awesome. What is this taking place of? Collagen, curcumin plus, joint health, vitamin A, and your D3. you take this one instead. That was $183 worth of products for only $65, and you're getting so much more now because of that. All right, the third one is your digestion and detox. Digestion, so we have something to help support your body's ability to break down nutrients and absorb the nutrients. Encourages healthy bowel function and waste elimination. And then we have detoxification pathway support. That's going to support your liver, kidney, and gallbladder pathways to detoxify your body. This one includes 5 clinically studied ingredients at their studied dosages. It also is going to include 26 billion CFUs of probiotics. I think that's a great dose of good probiotics to help boost your microbiome, but it also contains 74 billion CFUs of postbiotics. I didn't know what postbiotics were. Postbiotics are basically the active version of a probiotic. So when your probiotic goes in your body, it has to convert to a postbiotic to be able to do what it needs to do. You're getting pro and a high dose of already active postbiotics, something that I have never seen before. So let's go through these, because this one here is amazing. This is called Bacillus subtilis, or AB22. You're getting this in the probiotic and the postbiotic form. It is an anti-SIBO probiotic, meaning small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Those are people that have lots of abdominal discomfort, bloating, and flatulence. This is going to help stop that. It's an intracellular antioxidant production, so what it's going to do is help your body produce more glutathione, catalase, and what does SOD stand for? Wow, how soon we forget. Superoxide dismutase from the melon, right? Okay, it's going to decrease fatigue, anxiety, depression, and restlessness, and getting easily annoyed. That doesn't happen, right? Yeah. Why would this help that? Because it's in your gut. Your gut it's what produces most of your serotonin. It's going to help your body eliminate. It's going to improve your immune system. It help your body generate cellulase, which is an enzyme that your body needs to be able to break down plant foods. This will activate within 45 minutes of you taking it. And my favorite part about this, at the bottom there, it says it is a glyphosate shield. So what did we talk about earlier? If we ingest glyphosate, it causes leaky gut syndrome, which allows gluten to go through and causes inflammation, which will lead to autoimmune diseases. All right, so I'm going to break this down for you because it's very, very interesting. This gray right here, the gray line, this is the permeability of your digestive system. How leaky is it? So it needs to become a little leaky when we eat because we want to be able to absorb nutrients. So normal response is we eat food, it opens up, and it goes back to normal within about an hour so that we can absorb the nutrients into our bloodstream, because it's only supposed to open a little bit. If you consume food that has glyphosate, that's your red-orange line here, look what happens. Glyphosate causes it to become way too leaky, and it stays very leaky for way more than 60 minutes. What's that doing to our body? It's causing leaky gut syndrome, autoimmune diseases, and inflammation. When you're constantly taking your AB22, if you're taking AB22 and you eat something with glyphosate in it, that's the green line. Look what happened. Boom. It stops it from becoming full-on leaky gut. So when you're taking this product with the AB22 in there, you are taking a glyphosate shield. You are shielding your body from the damaging effects of glyphosate. And just so you know, no matter how well you do and how good you shop, we're going to be exposed to it. We do not want leaky gut syndrome. This next slide is actually a video I'm going to show you about microplastics.
Welcome to Radiant Life. Imagine eating a whole credit card every week. Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what's happening, because microplastics are everywhere. In your food, your water, even in your body right now. But where are they hiding? And what are they doing to your health? Buckle up, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you eat forever. So, what exactly are microplastics? They're tiny plastic particles, less than 5 millimeters in size. You can't see them, you can't taste them, but guess what? They're sneaking into your food and straight into your bloodstream. But where do these tiny invaders come from? Plastic packaging can seep chemicals into your food. Polluted water sources contain seafood and even table salt. Food processing often involves plastic equipment, adding to the problem. Even microwave-safe plastics may release harmful toxins. How are microplastics sneaking into your food? As per studies, you won't believe these 5 everyday foods that are loaded with microplastics. Seafood, the ocean is filled with plastic. And when fish consume it, so do you. Table salt, shocking fact, up to 90% of salt brands contain microplastics. Tea bags, some tea bags shed plastic particles straight into your cup. Bottled water, research shows bottled water has twice the microplastics compared to tap water. Honey and sugar, even nature's sweetest gifts, aren't safe from contamination. Shocked? It gets worse. Think microplastics just pass through your body? Think again. These tiny plastic particles can get lodged in your system. And here's what they do. Hormone havoc, they imitate estrogen, throwing your hormones off balance. Gut destruction, they trigger inflammation, which may lead to serious digestive disorders. Brain and organ infiltration, shockingly. Studies show microplastics can even reach your brain. The worst part? Scientists are still uncovering new dangers every day. Now that you know the shocking truth, how can you fight back against microplastics? Ditch the plastic. Use glass or stainless steel containers instead. Drink smarter. Opt for filtered water instead of bottled. Go fresh. Choose organic. Whole foods over processed ones. Skip the plastic wrap. The less plastic in your food, the better. Small changes can make a big impact on your health. Now, here's the real question. Were you as shocked as I was?
I was pretty shocked about that. You guys shocked? Yeah, it's kind of disturbing that we're getting that much amount of plastic in our body. And what did she say at the beginning? What percentage of our brain is probably plastic now? Was it 1%? Maybe it's 10% for the crowd right now? Yeah, you don't remember? Something like that. So the reason why I showed you that video then is that this digestion and detox also has Bacillus licheniformis, which is a probiotic which actually breaks down microplastics in our body. I do not want my body absorbing it. So if we're eating glyphosate, we're opening up those channels, allowing more microplastics to come in. How important is AB22 and licheniformis? Important. We need to keep the leaky gut at bay and don't let the plastic in, and let's break them down and get them out of our body. The other one here, we have 3 more. Saccharomyces boulardii. That's a digestion and gut-related immunity support. Helps people with protecting the microbiome during antibiotic use. Another probiotic, Bacillus clausii. This will strengthen respiratory system and your lungs and helps with gut response and gut microbiome. And the coagulants here, which helps with digestion, elimination, and protein absorption. So again, this is very probiotic heavy. You do not need to keep it in the fridge though, because all 5 of those strains are fine to not be refrigerated, which is very convenient, especially when we travel. What else is in there? Humic and fulvic acid, which actually supports, it's a prebiotic which helps support the health of your probiotics. There is regenerative organic certified bovine liver. Liver is like nature's multivitamin. You're getting vitamin A, vitamin C, zinc, copper, iron, and B12 from that product. You're getting bovine kidney, gallbladder, stomach, duodenum, something called triphala, which is an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, chemotherapy protector, and a radioprotective, meaning it's going to help protect your body from the damaging effects of radio waves, which we cannot get rid of. You have fermented noni and guava plant, which are going to help you support your digestion and your gut lining. There's also 10 digestive enzymes in this product. So when you take this, it will help your body digest your food better. And there's going to be whole food selenium, which will help your immune system and detoxification pathways. So what is this one product going to replace? The detox system. This is your detox on a daily basis. GI Replenish, those are your probiotics. GI Replace, that is your enzyme. Max GI, and your microbiome support. So that is $206 worth of products that when you get the digestion and detox is only $65. The last product I want to talk about before we get into the rest of our habits is my favorite product called NAC. You guys have probably heard me talk about this a lot. NAC is fantastic for your immune system and helps with your mitochondrial health. This is so important because this helps boost your immune system and fight viruses. Guess what they wanted to take off the market during COVID? NAC. Why? Because it prevented people from getting sick and getting healthy. So if you're a patient of mine, you might be like, okay, you probably already heard me say that. You're sniffling or coughing. What am I telling you to take? NAC. What does NAC do for you? Produces thyroid antibodies, supports your liver function, clears out heavy metals, promotes intestinal health, eliminates bacteria that are pathogenic, enhances bone formation, prevents free radical damage, and reduces oxidative stress and chronic inflammation. Those are the sources of what? Bad energy. So by taking NAC on a regular basis, you're going to help prevent bad energy. And we're not going to have a chronic disease. How do I take the NAC? This is not something you need to take every single day. I take one a couple times a week, just as a maintenance. But if somebody's around me, not feeling great, coughing all over me, I'm taking 3 a day because I want to boost my immune system for that week. And if I feel anything happening in my own body, I'm taking 5. You guys have probably heard me say this. You take 5 a day until it's gone. Okay? Now, what I did to make this easier for you, in your folder, you will see this sheet right here, the Pure Energy order form. And we've created some bundles for you here today just to make things a lot easier. And if you buy one of the bundles, it's going to be 20% off instead of 10% off. So on the back of it, you'll see your order form. There's everything that we have at the office. Some of it we have here, some of it we did not bring. But you will be able to get it at the office. So on this side, you'll see our bundles. The first bundle is called our complete bundle. You're going to get the foundational 3, a bottle of NAC, and you're going to get your bone broth protein. The next one is called your metabolic bundle. That's your inflammation immune, so it's your foundational 3 and the protein. I think this is your minimum standard for doing the 30-day challenge with us, because you're going to get those foundational 3 for 30 days, and you're going to get your protein so you can break your fast properly. And then I have what's called the foundational bundle, which is just the foundational 3. This is great for additional family members. Like, this stuff is so great. I'm making sure all my family members are taking all 3 of these at all times because it's that important. So to make things easy, when we're done here, we are going to have a couple tables out there with our supplements on it. All we ask you to do, if you want to get any of the supplements here today, make sure you have this properly filled out. You put your name and information down here. If you're a patient, you have a card on file, just check that you have a card on file, and we'll run that card when we get back to the office on Monday. If you're a guest, you just write your information here as well. And on the back, you can check off anything that you would like, and you should be able to get it here today. I don't think we're going to have enough bundles for everybody here, but we will have them for you within the week. So if you don't get it today, we'll place that order on Monday. You should have it by Friday. Yes. That is 1 month supply. Correct. Yep. So the dosage is 3 capsules a day for each. So it's 9 capsules and you're good. Okay? All right. I tell people about fragrance all the time, but I feel like it might come better from somebody other than me. So I have Jessica Alba going to talk to you guys.
Do you guys know what the most toxic thing is in your home environment? All right, I'll tell you what it is. It's fragrance. Did you know that? Isn't that crazy? So anything that smells like apple summer rain, or fresh flowers from the garden, or lavender mist, those are all made with toxic chemicals. And what a lot of these companies do is they disclose certain ingredients that are pretty neutral, but then they hide all these toxic chemicals under the fragrance. And it's called, their own original IP. It's like their secret sauce, so they don't have to disclose it. So we then are putting it on our skin, we're inhaling it, and they're known carcinogens. I mean, they are hormonal disruptors.
Have you guys ever heard the word obesogen before? Everybody say obesogen. These are chemicals that are causing you to silently gain weight, and you might not have any idea it's even happening to you because you were at level 1 of competence when we talked about toxins and toxicity. I don't know what I don't know. I'll have patients that will often come to my office and they're wearing perfume or cologne. And listen, I used to wear cologne, loved it. And then when I learned how toxic it is, I said never again. So I have none of it ever again. But now when I have patients that will come in wearing it, I get a headache. And I'm not allergic to it. My body is just so sensitive to it now going, that is so bad for me. Whatever that is, get away from it. So I'll kindly usually ask my patient and give them a little education about how toxic it is and ask them not to wear it. So because it's good for their health to not wear it anymore. These are fragrances and perfumes. They have tons of chemicals like phthalates in them that will disrupt your hormones and cause you to gain weight and lose your health. These will lead to oxidative stress. What about air fresheners, scented candles? We're using fragrance. Anything that says perfume, or it's parfum, I guess they say, or perfume and fragrance, you do not ever want to use because of that answer right there. Your makeup, your lotions, your shampoo, conditioners, medications, pesticides, tons more stuff. Again, that toxicity, we have a Trash Your Toxin workshop that you should have gotten texted when you texted food to the office. I go in depth. It's about an hour long about what these do, how it works, and what we need to do instead. So we're gonna make some new habits. We're gonna overhaul our personal care products, our cleaners, and make sure we're using things that do not have perfume in it and toxic chemicals. We're gonna stop wearing the cologne, stop wearing the perfume, and using scented detergents. Guys, if you're using Tide or Gain, that stuff, yes, I get it, it smells fresh, but that's not really fresh. That's what we've been programmed to think is fresh. Fresh is going outside after a rainstorm. That's fresh. Okay, you can't artificially make that and put it into Tide. So you should be using things with no scent because that stuff will stick and you're smelling it all day. You don't even know you're smelling it, and that's just causing more and more inflammation in your body. And then we need to clean up our air quality using air filters to clean our indoor air. What's another good habit is getting proper rest. We need to get proper rest. 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night is proper rest. If you're a parent with young kids, good luck, right? Uninterrupted sleep, what's that? It does get better. I will tell you, it does get better. But we need to make sure we're getting consistent sleep with regular bed and wake times. If you go to bed Monday through Friday or Sunday through Thursday at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. and you wake up at 6 a.m., that's your 8 hours of sleep. That's good. But if on the weekend you decide that I'm going to stay up till 2 in the morning and go and sleep till noon, you've just caused what's called social jet lag. Just so you guys know, we've all had jet lag this week, haven't we? That 1 hour change screwed us good, right? It screwed us up. And I've been exhausted. Like, I can't even keep my eyes open. Like, what is going on? It's that 1 hour jet lag screwed us up. The same thing happens to you when you change your bed and wake times for the weekend versus your weekday. So one easy way to get better sleep and feel better overall is to keep consistent nighttime routine and morning routine. What about light? Wait, hold on a second. I'm going to say, oh yeah, this is interesting. This is something that Dr. Casey Means had said. If you want to give yourself pre-diabetes, reduce your sleep to 4 hours for just 6 days. That is how important proper rest is for your body's metabolism to function properly. Pre-diabetes in 6 days with only 4 hours of sleep. 7 to 8 hours of sleep is where we need to be. Light habits. We talked about earlier what causes oxidative stress, circadian rhythm being off. Well, we are called diurnal. We are not nocturnal. That means that when we wake up, we have two separate modes of life. When the sun comes up, we go into what's called activity and feeding mode. This is when we eat, this is when we do things. And when the sun goes down, we go into what's called resting and starvation mode. That's normal. 1,000 years ago, when there was no electricity, that was the only option. When we got electricity, now we can artificially keep light on longer. What is that really doing to our circadian rhythm? It's screwing it up. We're able to stay awake longer, getting that light into our eyes, messing with our ability to sleep properly. We need to make sure that we know that and we can make some changes. So one way to set your circadian rhythm is when you wake up in the morning, get your face outside into the sun. If you go out and see a sunrise every morning, awesome. That's a great thing. I'm not going to get up that early unless I'm playing golf or fishing. But 8 a.m. is fine. 8 a.m. is fine. Get up, get your face in that sun. Let that sun bathe your face. And that sun is 1,000 times more energetic than any sunlight or any light you have inside your house. So don't do it through the window. Go outside, get your face bathed in that sun. That's going to start your clock. Now, what can you do to minimize light damage to your circadian rhythm at home at night? Put your lights on dimmers. You don't need lights bright on in the house. Okay, dimmers would be a good thing. Minimizing blue light exposure at nighttime. Where do you get blue light? Yeah, your phones, your screens, your iPads, TVs, it's all blue light. If you have a phone, there is something called night shift. Make sure if you have an Apple iPhone that you put on night shift. So at nighttime, it shifts away from blue light and goes more to red tones. That's better for your eyes. Watching TV in bed, not the best idea, okay? Minimizing EMF exposures. What are EMFs? Electromagnetic fields. What's an awful thing for your brain is having your phone in your bedroom. A lot of you are like, well, what am I supposed to use for an alarm clock? What did you get? Rebecca, what did you get last year? An alarm clock. So I got to tell your story real quick. This is you're 14 now? 13. So last year you were 12. So she was 12 years old. She came to this last year, and I talked about EMFs in the bedroom and said how bad having your phone in your room is. And she said, well, Mom, let's go buy alarm clocks on the way home from this makeover. So they did. And it was only a couple days of not having her phone in the room that she came downstairs and told her mom she was so excited she had her first dream in forever. I'm telling you, get it out of your room. Get yourself a $10 alarm clock at CVS. It makes a difference. Because man-made electronic fields cause oxidative stress. They will stop you from getting the rest that you need. What about water intake? Important, yes? How much water should we drink every day? Half your body weight in ounces. Thank you, Kelly. Half your body weight in ounces every day. That should be your status quo. Like every day I do that. What if we're outside sweating? Drink more. What if you're going to work out? Drink more. So this should be your new minimum standard. Half your body weight in ounces. But don't drink tap water. Tap water is full of chemicals and fluoride. Try not to drink out of plastic. And then get a water filtration system for your house. That's probably your best bet. Now, the EWG, the Environmental Working Group, they are a non-for-profit database of toxins. And you have access to this in your book, so you don't have to write that down. But they have a database that you can go to and plug in your zip code and find out what's in your water. So I did it. This is what's in Cherokee County's water. 64 times the guideline for bromodichloromethane. What does that cause? Cancer. Chloroform, 73 times the amount of chloroform that you're supposed to have, cancer. Chromium, hexavalent chromium. You guys ever seen the movie with Aaron Brockovich? Was it the movie called Aaron Brockovich? Yeah. All the people there got cancer and tumors. It was hexavalent chromium. We have 4.2 times the guideline. What does that cause? Cancer. I can just keep going. It all says cancer. This is why a water filtration system is very, very important. Do not drink your tap water. Now, what about movement? Do we need to move? The answer is, of course we need to move. We all need to move. We need to get up and move, right? What does movement do? Improves your circulation, improves and stimulates lymphatic drainage, and lymphatic drainage is your sewer system in your body. It gets the gunk out, the toxins. It will balance your neurotransmitters in your brain, enhances tissue oxygenation, which helps with making good energy, reduces stress on the body, improves your mood, improves your happiness, and enhances your mental clarity and even your memory. Because when you live a sedentary lifestyle, your mitochondria don't function as well, and that reduces your aerobic capacity. But it also, when you do not exercise, your body says, well, I don't need the energy, so it doesn't produce very many mitochondria, so you don't have very much energy. You guys ever felt too tired to start working out? Yeah, you're like, I don't work out because I'm too tired. You're too tired because you don't work out. Because when you start to work out and you just make that conscious effort to start doing it no matter what, because you know you need to, your body will produce more mitochondria. And when your body produces more mitochondria, what are you going to have more of? Energy, and good energy. Look at all the things it can do for you. Awesome. Reduce fatigue. So what are our movement habits going to be over these next 30 days? We're going to engage in moderately intense movement. I didn't say exercise. I said movement, at least 30 minutes a day. This was interesting. There was a study that I read that compared 4 groups. The first group, no exercise. The second group went for a 20-minute jog before breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The third group did a 20-minute jog after breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the fourth group did a 3-minute jog every 30 minutes throughout the day. So the 3 groups that exercised, they all did a total of, 60 minutes of exercise in the day. What they found was these short bursts of 3 minutes every 30 minutes significantly reduced their post-meal glucose levels. Meaning you eat food, instead of eating too much sugar and storing it as fat and getting exhausted, your body was able to utilize that sugar and reduce your chances of getting type 2 diabetes and creating more bad energy. How simple was that? So it's kind of like drinking water. If I said you need to drink 90 ounces of water a day, you're going to chug 90 ounces at 8 a.m. and not drink anything the rest of the day? No, that doesn't sound like a great idea. We would drink it throughout the day. Well, your body responds best to movement and exercise when it's a little bit often. Instead of I go to the gym 3 times a week and work out for 2 hours. That's not the best thing for creating good energy. Short bursts. So something as simple as going for a walk after every meal. 15 minutes is all you need. Make it 10. Do something. If it's raining out, do 30 squats. You can hold right onto the counter and just do your squats right there. 30 squats after every meal. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Lift heavy things. Move furniture around every week. Run in place for 30 seconds after a bathroom break, not before. No. Take 10,000 steps a day. Like Lisa, this is crazy. And I told you this yesterday, or the other day when I was talking. Studies show that if you take 10,000 steps in a day, you reduce your risk of dementia by 50%. And if anybody has a family member with Alzheimer's dementia, you know how bad that is. It is hard to watch, hard to see, hard to be around. It is devastating to families. By getting up and doing 10,000 steps a day, you're going to reduce the risk by 50%. I'm in. 50 to 70% lower risk of premature death. 44% lower risk of getting type 2 diabetes. 31% or more lower risk of obesity and gaining weight. Significant reductions in cancer occurrence, major depression, gastric reflux, and sleep apnea. All by doing what? Walking. So again, when we do this challenge, I'm focusing on movement. I want everybody to get up and move and do more things, not necessarily work out hard. But some of you are like, I'm past that. I already get my 10,000 steps. I want more. This is where we do the max T3 workouts. High intensity, short duration. So in your sheet, in your book, we gave you, I think it was like 8 or 9 different exercises that you could do. It's 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off. 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off for 12 minutes. It's only 6 minutes of actual movement and exercise, but you're going hard. And when you do that, you reduce your cortisol levels, you increase your human growth hormone, and you burn fat for 36 hours after one workout. So I feel like we've been sitting a while. You guys feel that too? I haven't, but you guys have. So I feel like we need to get up and move. So guys, I want you to stand up. We're going to do a mini little workout. It's only going to be 30 seconds long. But we're going to get the blood pumping. Feel how you feel right now. Tired, hopefully not bored, right? Yeah, just tired, a little fatigued. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a 30-second workout. They're called chair squats. What's a chair squat? Well, high level is bounce your butt off the ground, off the chair, and right back up. Some of you have chairs in front of you. Hold on to them. Some of you are going to go, my knees. Oh, my knees. How about this? Sit down, stand back up. Sit down, stand back up. You have support there. But I want you to go as fast as you can without hurting yourself and breaking form. The big part about the form is I want your chest facing me the whole time. I don't want this. I want this. Keep your head facing me the whole time. We're going to do 30 seconds. If you're pushing yourself hard, I have staff going around and giving out T-shirts for those that are working out the hardest. Okay? So in just a second, we're going to get started. I'm going to get the timer going. Okay.
2000.
All right, you guys ready? You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Get that butt on there. Go all the way down. Boom.
Run, put your knees up in the sky, 'cause we just begun. Hey, this is how we do. Shuffle, shuffle to the right, to the
All right,
left, move.
that was 30 seconds. How do you guys feel? Feel good? Got the blood pumping? Get some oxygen to our cells? Our brains are working again? You guys can have a seat now. I hear some huffing and puffing. Yes. You guys did good. You guys feel good? But does that mean you're healthy? It does not mean you're healthy. So this last bit is super duper important. I want everybody to pay attention to this, because just because you feel good does not mean that you're healthy. We all think we're healthy because we feel good, because we live in the medical model who says, if you don't have symptoms, I have nothing to do for you, so you don't need me until you have symptoms. So come back when you hurt. Come back when you have dysfunction. Wait till you have a disease, and then I'll start taking care of you, instead of saying, hey, if I do something good for my body every single day, I might never need to go to that doctor again. That is my goal for you guys. Just because you feel good doesn't mean you're healthy. Benjamin Franklin said the best doctor gives the least medicine. Who gives you no medicine? Oh yeah, that was a good one too. And your chiropractor. Again, this is why when you use your chiropractor as your primary care physician, we are going to do whatever we can to help you heal yourself with no intervention of medication or surgery first. This is how we're going to get you healthy. Because health has nothing to do with how you feel. It has everything to do with how your body heals and how your body functions. Because if your body was healing and functioning at 100%, the way we were designed to heal and function, how much cancer could you get? None. How much heart disease could you have? How much diabetes would you be developing? None. Because we are not supposed to be sick. We are supposed to be healthy, vibrant, and alive. The problem is that a lot of us live right here in the false wellness comfort zone. I feel good, so what I'm doing it must be working. I don't even work out and I feel great. Does that mean that you're healthy? No, it means you feel good. But in the meantime, your body is slowly developing disease underneath, and you have no idea. And you're not doing anything about it because you think that I feel good means I'm healthy. This is why it's so important to have healthy habits. If we are doing healthy habits and executing these plans, we may never have to go down this road. So my job for you as your chiropractor is to find out, where are you here and what has been holding you back from there? Because there's nothing I could put in your body that's going to produce more health. There's no drug, there's no vitamin, there's no anything that can give you more health, because you have everything that you need to be healthy already inside of you. God put it there when he created you. It's in your brain and nervous system. And if you have been doing things that have not been congruent with how we were created, that's how we lose our health. My job is to point those things out, help guide you, help remove the interference from your nervous system so that you can heal yourself again. Because how do we lose our health? Subluxations. Everybody say subluxation. Subluxation is a big word for a pinched nerve. And if you pinch nerves, yes, that can cause headaches. Yes, that can cause pain. But what if those nerves go to organs, which they all do? If you have a subluxation at C2, you're going to get headaches and sinus and allergy issues. If you have a subluxation at C5, you're going to have thyroid dysfunction and neck pain. If you have a subluxation at T2, you might have some upper back pain. You might have some numbing and tingling in your hands, but your heart and lungs are not going to function very well. If you have a subluxation at T6, your middle back might be sore, but you're also going to get reflux and stomach problems. You might have sciatic pain going down your legs because you have a subluxation at L4, and that might be causing issues with your cycle. That might be causing constipation, diarrhea, bladder issues. And if you went to your doctor, what would they do? They would look at, remember the hierarchy of cells. They're going to look at the symptom and give you a drug for the symptom. My job is to turn the power back onto your cells so your body can heal itself. Now, what are warning signs? Warning signs that you might be having issues. Well, sometimes your body's screaming at you. Back pain, neck pain, headaches, numbness and tingling. Sometimes it's the stuff we've been tolerating that you wrote down that are signs that your body is not healing the way it's supposed to. I'm tired all the time. I wake up achier than I went to bed. My daughter gets ear infections all the time. I just don't feel right anymore. I have 25 pounds I can't get rid of. Those are signs that your body's not healing. What are we going to do about it? We need to get that fixed. We need to turn the power back onto the body. Remember, nature needs no help. It just needs no interference. If you want to be healthy, we need to do something different. Because what do you want the next 10 years of your life to look like?
What will your last 10 years look like? Will you be quick enough for a game of tag with your grandchild? Strong enough to embrace every moment? Will you grow old with vitality? Or get old with disease? It's time to decide.
It is, right? It's powerful because it is your choice. Which way do you want to go? I want to be on this side. I don't want a tackle box full of pills. Okay? So over these next 30 days is your opportunity to make a change and commit to 30 days of making healthy habits. So again, your 30-day challenge is in your packet. But if you would like to get some updates and stay motivated and receive support, what you're going to do is go text the word energy to our phone number. Why don't you guys do that now? Go ahead and get your phones out real quick and just text the word energy to our phone number. And it's just going to keep you engaged, keep you accountable, and keep you moving in the right direction. So again, that phone number, if you don't already have it plugged into your phone, 770-345-9355, and just text the word energy to it. And that'll get you enrolled in the challenge. I'm suggesting we start the challenge on Monday. So time to wrap your head around what we're going to do, changes that are going to be made. Let's get that started on Monday. Because remember, you are only what you tolerate. You are only what you tolerate. And I'm going to tell you right now, you do not have to be perfect all the time. Some people say, I'm not even going to start because I can't be perfect. Nobody expects anybody to be perfect. I am not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But I want you to focus on raising your bottom standard. I would not buy anything without reading the ingredient label anymore. That's raising your bottom standard. I would not buy anything that doesn't have organic corn versus conventional corn. You're raising your bottom standard. I would no longer do that. That's raising your bottom standard. Not I have to be perfect all the time. I'm not doing that anymore. And when you start saying no to things, your health will start to climb. You're going to raise it from the bottom up. We're also going to be creating better habits because it's all about small steps. If that big step is perfection, let's do everything in 30 days and let's start at the highest level here, you're probably not even going to start. And I would never want that for any of you. It's all about baby steps, little steps. Take a lot of them and look at where you could be in just 30 days. And if you need a life coach,
what's with the helmet?
No.
Oh, well,
we can do that for
life
you.
Coach.
What's that like?
Wake up! Take the stairs. Say hello.
Hello.
Not him, her.
Hello.
No.
You don't need a life coach.
So we are here to support you and coach you and keep you motivated and excited to make these changes. All right, I have one last video to show you guys to get you excited to make some changes.
And so if you want to find your flow this year, and if you want things to happen in your life, I know some of this is common sense, but stop coming to God like a genie and start embracing the process. He said, you're like fruit on the vine. And the gardener comes out, and one day, nothing grows. And the next day, nothing seems to grow. And the next day, nothing seems to grow. And the next day, nothing seems to grow. But when you embrace the monotonous, that's when you can experience the miraculous. And we all see people who have great results in an area of their life. great results in their knowledge of the scripture, great results in their physical appearance, great results in their financial life. You can't admire the results and desire the reward if you don't embrace the routine that produces the results and the reward. Did y'all see that Odell Beckham catch a couple weeks ago? Did you see it? How many of you are wondering about who is Odell Beckham? Odell Beckham is a bad man football player. He made what some analysts are referring to as the greatest catch ever a few weeks ago. And I'm going to put it on the screen and you can decide if it's the greatest catch ever. Look at this. Inbounds. See it again. Inbounds. My God. And a flag with pass interference. Still caught it. Still caught it. Somebody said to me, did you see that lucky catch? Did you see that lucky catch? And that's what most of us think when we see a catch like that. What a lucky catch. That's what a lot of us see when we see somebody whose life is blessed, who's got grapes on the vine, who's got, well, they just married the right person. Well, they just were in the right place at the right time. Wow, what a lucky catch. Can I tell you a secret? It only looks lucky. It only looks lucky. You don't get blessed over a lifetime by a lucky moment. See, I'm so glad they had some cameras out there before the game that day. There were some cameras that were filming Odell Beckham's practice routine before the game. So watch this. They caught this just moments before the game. What's he doing? He's doing the same thing. Y'all better help me preach on this football clip. The same thing. Here's him at practice before game day ever came. Same thing. Same thing. So when you see him under the lights and it looks lucky, it only looked lucky. But the truth is, he practiced that. Let me preach this. When you see somebody's life, where you see God doing stuff and you see them having supernatural peace and abundant joy, and you see them making wise decisions, can I tell you a secret? They practice that. They practice that. That didn't just happen. They practice that. They practice that.
That's Stephen Furtick, pastor up in Charlotte. We need to practice health. We need to practice that. We need to make better habits on a regular basis because health is not good luck or bad luck. It is a result of the effort we are putting in to keeping our health. So for these next 30 days, I want to see you guys change. I want to see better habits. I want you to practice that. So I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here today. And I can't wait to see what you look like and feel like in 30 days. Thank you for coming.